Welcome back to the book review. As you can see, I'm reviewing Vendetta Road by Christine Feehan. So, my disclaimer. This book is part of the Torpedo Inc. series, which is a spin-off series of a spin-off series. Miss Feehan wrote a book series called The Drake Sisters, which is about 7 sisters. In that book, a man named Perkinsky was introduced. So after that book series, she wrote a book series called Sisters of the Heart, Sea Haven. That book is about Mr. Perkinsky's brothers coming in. And then after that book series got done, she rolled into Torpedo Inc. I'm going to tell you this. I think the last book of Sea Haven or Sisters of the Heart, whatever you want to call it, is actually a prequel to the Torpedo Inc. This is the last book in the Sea Haven / Sisters of the Heart series. I think it's a prequel, or the official first book, or I'm sorry, the unofficial first book. But I'm not the writer, so I don't get that choice. So far there's been 3 official books of Torpedo Inc. The first one is Judgment, which I do not have. The second one is Vengeance Road. And the third one's Vendetta Road. Now, I get these books from the library because these are darker type books, and I do not want to keep them around my house. Because sometimes I get so absorbed in reading this, I will not put them down. I get grumpy, moody, aggravated, agitated, and my husband's like, I've had enough of you. And I'm like, okay, I gotta stop. So I use my library access to get these books for when I want to reread it. I can get it on Audible through my library. I can get them digital, paperbacks, however I want to get them. So, that's my little spiel. Let's get into the review. Vendetta Road is a good book. I liked it. It's not my favorite book in the Torpedo Inc. series. But then again, I don't think I really actually have a favorite book in the series yet. Now that I come to think about it. So, Vendetta Road is about Ice. He is a twin. He has a younger sister. He is a secretary in the Torpedo Inc. motorcycle club world. But we come to find out he's actually a jeweler. Like, he makes world famous jewelry. Which I find so funny because from his description, if you looked at this man, you'd be like, he is no jeweler. But that's just our preconceived notions of what people should look like. But anyway, that's what he does. He never, and it's only mentioned because of one thing. Like, he doesn't brag that, he's making gazillions of dollars making this, highly sought after, one-of-a-kind jewelry. So in Vendetta Road, you get to meet Ice, like really, really meet him. And he's out on some, kind of job for the club. He's in the motorcycle club. And he sees this woman. I will butcher her name, so I'm sorry in advance. Her name is Cholet. And he sees her, and he's instantly like, that's mine. But he's doing something he can't, meet up with her. So, of course, by fate, they happen to kind of stagger into each other's path. And Ice and his brothers, the other members of the Torpedo Inc., make it their mission to get this woman drunk and to seduce her so she marries Ice that very day. He was like, I'm not courting her. I'm not doing none of that. That's my baby. That's it. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, what Ice doesn't realize is that Miss Soleil, whatever her name is, I'll just call her Soul, is one of those rare people that cannot officially get absolutely drunk. Which I wish I had that. So, while he's doing that to her, she's trying to do that to him. And his friends and everyone's snickering and laughing, and it's a whole mess. Well, Soleil is actually kind of hiding from her ex-fiance, who is like, we're getting married now. And she's like, no, you won't sign my prenup. That's not going to happen. And he's like, there's no prenup get signed. We're getting married. And she's like, nah, that's not going to work. So she escapes from him. Well, throughout this whole book, I would say for 85% of the book, it's about Ice and her's relationship, the chemistry they have, and that's good and all, but I really wanted to get to the actual story. I've read so many spicy books now, I'm just like, okay, I don't need a whole chapter of what they're doing. Get me to the book. Well, come to find out, Soleil's fiance is part of a con ring that marries wealthy women and then end up becoming widowers. So they find this out. They're like, no, we got to take these guys down. What in between finding out that they're con artists, they also find out they have a affiliation with a P ring. And if you know Torpedo Inc., you know that's one thing that you're not going to do. They absolutely do not abide by them. So they're like, okay, what's going on? What I find interesting is that me as a reader reading the book, and I want to say for maybe the fourth time that I've read this book, I thought, why did y'all not ask Kenny, who was in Bound Together, if he knew any of these people? Granted, it probably could have caused this young man trauma because of what he went through. I'm not going to say it. But I would have been like, that would have been quick into the book and could have gotten you some places. I have a feeling that the more they investigate that P ring that's going on, that where Kenny came from is going to be an issue. And I do believe that I'm going to keep that thought to myself. What I did like, one of my favorite parts of this book was you got to hear an inner monologue from Victor or Czar about his past, about how his father, when he was younger, taught him about wolves, and he made his brothers and sisters from Torpedo Inc., kind of a wolf pack. So when they were younger, they had to band together, work together to make sure they were all right. As much as they could be all right. If you haven't read the book, I don't want to give anything away. What I highly recommend, though, is start with, if you have not read any of the other series, that's completely fine. If you just want to pick up from Torpedo Inc., I'm going to say this, start with Bound Together. I would honestly say start with Bound Together, the Sea Haven book, because you meet Victor or Czar, and he's the president of the motorcycle club. Would I recommend reading all the other books? The Drake sisters, you don't really have to, but they do introduce people in there that will probably pop up in the other books. I would say definitely the Sisters of the Heart or Sea Haven books. You may want to read them. You don't really have to, but you may want to. But definitely read Bound Together from that series. And then I would say, just keep on reading. This is a hard book to read. I'm not going to lie. It's a hard series to read because the things are dark. And this is turning into way too long. So, I will say that I like this book. It's not a favorite. I'm going to read other ones. And I'm done babbling today. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe, please. Definitely share this video so more people can find out about the series because I think it's a really great series. I've obviously had too much coffee today. So, I will talk to you later. Bye.